To truly understand Callao, Utah,
you're in the middle of nowhere.
you need to see it. Here in this small, remote town in Utah's West Desert, they're still looking for one of their own. There's only about 50 people who call Callao, Utah their home, but over the last few months, this town has gotten a little bit smaller. A small ranching community surrounded by desert, dirt roads, and mountains in the distance.
I mean, we've been back and forth on these roads so many times and found nothing. It's just heartbreaking.
Mid-morning on April 17th, 2024. Then, 21-year-old Elizibeth Green left the trailer she lived in with her mom, stepfather, and brothers. I mean, before all this happened, did she like living here? Was it challenging for her? What was that like?
So she finished school here, so that was okay, but then she got to a point where being here all day with nothing to do kind of got monotonous. Definitely don't blame her for that. So no, she wasn't real happy here. We were working on getting her driver's license, or well, her ID taken care of. We had to get her birth certificate taken care of first, and also getting her back into school. She wanted to go back to school for counseling for like middle school age children. That morning she was really excited, or she seemed really excited about going to work because it was the first time that she had been able to like go and make her own money out here. One of our neighbors, family friends, offered her a job to go and clean up one of their, it's on the property, but it's its own property, so it's like a cookhouse slash, I don't know what else you would call it. Nobody lived there, per se. It was just another building on the property.
She was going to work on a ranch nearby.
She'd gone the night before, which was the first time she'd been there. And then she got up that morning and she's like, okay, Mom, I'm gonna go. I'm like, wouldn't you like to wait for your brothers to get home? Because as you can see, there's really no vehicles here when they're at school. And she's like, no, I'll walk. And she was making me coffee, and that wasn't real normal. But she seemed really happy and she seemed really excited. And she's like, no, I'm gonna walk, I'll be okay. And she finished my coffee and walked out the door, and I didn't see her again.
Her family checked the ranch property throughout the day.
Paul and I went over right around noon, and there was no trace of her. We didn't see her. Thought maybe, you know, there are people in town that she does know, but not well. So we thought maybe that she walked through town and, you know, found someone. She's a very social person. She just didn't go anywhere while she was here. So we thought maybe that she had come across somebody that she knew and had talked to them, and we'd just missed her because we walked the back way. The owner of the property, we saw him at about 2, and he asked if we wanted her to come home, like to send her home if he saw her, and we were like, no, you know, she's fine, she should be okay. And then my son came home. He waited till about 6 o'clock to go over there. He went over there at 6 o'clock, and he came back and he's like, Mom, she's not been there. Nobody's been there. So right around 8 o'clock, we went over there thinking, okay, maybe she's just out walking, maybe, because she had headphones and, you know, her own phone. So thought maybe she was just out walking, listening to music or something. And we went over there at 8 o'clock, and they just happened to be there, and they're like, no, nobody's been here. Nothing's been done. Place hasn't been touched.
Vanessa called the Juab County Sheriff's Office to report her daughter missing.
So we got on our group chat that we have for our area and asked if anybody had seen her, and nobody had seen her. And they all got on their ATVs and went out and looked for her. We spent almost 2 hours looking for her.
Juab County Sheriff's deputies and search and rescue members came out the next day.
And they searched our property fully. They searched the ranch property fully.
Did you ever see an indication that Lizzie walked down this road here?
No.
No sign of Elizabeth. What's most confusing to you about all of this?
That she's just gone.
Do you get the sense that she's not still around?
I don't know. You know, I have to prepare myself for the worst, but hope for the best. And I've gotten no proof either way.
Elizabeth's mom says that Lizzie is social, but doesn't have a lot of people she's socialized with in Callao.
I was happy that she was happy, because I knew she wasn't happy out here.
Instead, she turned to social media.
She had Snapchat, which I knew she had Snapchat, but then there was a dating site that we found that you can only get to through this link that's hidden on a profile, and it was just very eye-opening. Granted, she is an adult, so that's where that real fine line comes in, but, you know, just don't get angry with your kids, but be open with them and honest. It's a hard line. You want to give them their freedom, but you also want to know that they're being safe through those avenues, especially in terms of who they're speaking with. I think it's really important just to be aware, you know, talk to your kids, be aware, know who they're talking to, what platforms they're on, and because I found out she was on a whole lot more platforms than I ever knew about.
Investigators filed numerous search warrants for Lizzie's phone and social media platforms, but there's been no activity since the day of her disappearance.
And that's why everybody's so confused, because there's no trail, there's no trace, there's just nothing to go on. There's no leads.
It's something that this small community has been looking at, but also has almost gone back to their normal lifestyle here. It's a ranching community. Very few people come and go. There are some ranch hands that come here to work and then they leave. There's a lot of unanswered questions at this point. Where is Lizzie Green? Did she go with somebody? Is it someone she maybe met on social media? Someone who tricked her into something else or gave her a false promise? It's an interesting sort of scenario here because there's not a lot of people who call Callao home. There's also not a lot of vehicle traffic to and from this town. There are a lot of unanswered questions at this point.
It makes me feel like she had somebody who was coming to get her. I just don't know if that somebody was someone she really knew or someone that she found online and was really just sick of being here and wanted to leave. And, you know, that's the scariest part, because it could have been somebody who picked her up who was a hunter or just someone who was in the area, or it could have been somebody who picked her up who didn't have the right intentions for her in the first place, or it could have been somebody that she knew and ended up with not the right intentions. So it's like all of those scenarios go through your mind, and believe me, I've been through them all.
Do you have the true feeling that she may show back up at your door one day and just knock on the door and say, "Mom, I'm home. I'm sorry I did this," or "I'm sorry I learned from whatever took place"?
I believe there's a lesson here. I don't know what that lesson is yet. But I hope it's not that she's ashamed to come home because she made a choice and she thinks that we're going to be mad. It's more, I don't care how she comes home. If she can hear me or, you know, hears this, I would love to have her home. I would love to know she's okay. Even if she doesn't want to come back here, even a phone call to tell me, "Hey, Mom, I'm alive, I'm okay. You know, you can quit searching, you can quit worrying." That would even be enough for me.
Have you given up hope?
Absolutely not. There's nothing that has given me a reason to give up hope. There's been no proof one way or another, and I will continue to hope as long as I'm alive.
9 months later.
People don't just disappear without a trace. They just don't. So this is why it's so scary and so confusing that there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing. We've not found clothing, we've not found shoes, we've not found her bag. It's just very odd that there's no trace. Like, there wasn't even footprints leading anywhere for us to find it. And the dogs never got a scent when they were out here the first time. They didn't get a scent when they were out here the second time.
Where is Elizibeth Green?
So if you're out there, Lizzie, we love you, we miss you, and we would love to hear from you if you're able to get in touch with us and let us know you're okay.